Hello and welcome to episode 119 of the PantyNectar podcast. We have missed you guys, Mr. P and I, and we are happy if you're joining in today to listen to today's episode.
Thanks for being here.
We have just had life going on, and we've missed being on here chit-chatting with you guys. We've gotten so many messages about the podcast. And so we are giving the people what they want.
The podcast is what the people want. No doubt.
What everyone wants. So we're excited to be here for another episode. Episode 119. That's insane to think that we are so far, like we've done 100 and that's a lot of talking to be done. 119 episodes.
It's a lot. Over 100, yep.
Yeah, and that doesn't include like your Mr. P talks, all that. So it's crazy. We do have some exciting news. If you guys have been following along on Reddit or on Discord or OnlyFans or X, wherever you guys check in for the PantyNectar world. But we have some exciting news.
Break it.
We are expecting.
PantyNectar is pregnant.
So you guys, tons of people have asked, when are you going to be pregnant again? We want to see you pregnant. Trust me, I wanted to be pregnant too. It just hadn't happened until, we've talked on the podcast before about switching over to a carnivore diet. And it's so funny, just at the beginning of that, the focus wasn't fertility and things like that. But Mr. P had actually said like, oh, it's so funny. I read, these articles that talked about these women in their late 40s or mid 40s that happened to switch over to carnivore and got pregnant and like didn't expect it. But these older women were now having babies, no problem. And so we joked about it and laughed and was like, oh, wouldn't that be great if it helped us have a baby, blah, blah, blah. And then like, no shit, 2 or 3 months later, we're pregnant.
Yeah.
Pretty unbelievable. I could not Mr. P jokes like I spend so much money on pregnancy tests because every single month I'm like hoping and taking a test and it just would never happen. So I was pretty shocked when like 3 months into eating a very, much more strict carnivore diet, which really consisted of bacon, steak, and eggs and butter the whole time. I was pretty shocked when I saw 2 lines on the pregnancy test.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know if we had talked about this yet on the podcast, the carnivore diet kind of when we were, because that was back like around Thanksgiving.
I know we had mentioned it like briefly a couple times.
And so then I probably mentioned Dr. Ken Berry, and he was the one that I had watched his YouTube videos, and he was talking about the fertility, that in his own practice, anecdotally, he was saying that he had women come in that like in their 40s and I think even like early 50s that, just like, hey, I'm pregnant, and, that they hadn't been pregnant in so long. And so that was, we had heard about it, but it was definitely not something that I was anticipating.
No, not, yeah.
And, because like, I mean, we hadn't conceived in a long time and I bust in the gut all the time. And it's just
not for a lack of trying, because
right?
Trust me, there were tons of opportunities. It just didn't. And one thing about carnivore was it just like made us feel so much better eating carnivore. So really that was the main focus, is like what makes our bodies feel good, what makes us feel fueled, what makes, just everything that is around that. So it's not like we were like, oh, let's do carnivore to see if we get pregnant. That definitely wasn't it.
Not at all. Wasn't even a thought, to be honest.
No.
I mean, for me, at least.
You mentioned those articles, and I think I had just said like, oh, wouldn't that be crazy if we got pregnant after switching to carnivore? And then boom, it happened like insane.
Yeah. Yeah. And, it's funny because my dad was the one who got us all into this. He's like, he's always coming up with some crazy shit. So when he told me about this carnivore thing, of course I had heard about it, but he sent me a YouTube link of Ken Berry, and that's when I started listening to his podcast or, some episodes. And so when I told Dad, he was like, oh man, he was real excited.
Yeah.
He's like, there we go.
It's so pumped to have some like, some actual data behind, like your own little bit of data behind some stuff too. So that was very interesting.
And whether it's coincidental or whether it's, a correlation or causation,
Yeah.
you know, that we'll never know, I guess. But what we do know is that anecdotally, at least, it's, I think, more associated with causation than correlation,
Yeah.
unless it's just a, you know, freaking just by happenstance that, you know, we started doing carnivore and then got pregnant. But our diets entirely changed, you know, when we started doing that. I mean, we were going from like a mostly plant-based diet with some meat. You know, we definitely always ate meat.
But it wasn't the main focus.
It wasn't
for
the main
sure.
focus at all.
It was like lots of veggies, starches, like rice. Had rice like almost every meal, you know.
Yeah, and you know, Dr. Barry is he's a big proponent, and I guess, you know, I have not done deep research into the carnivore space. Ken Berry is kind of the only one that I had listened to, but he's a big proponent of fats. You know, people are, even I was talking to my cousin who's doing carnivore, and he has for some time now, or at least past few months, and he was big on the protein, you know, and I think maybe that is kind of what most people who do carnivore at least advocate for. It
yeah.
kind of, you know, centers around the concept of more protein for various reasons. But Dr. Barry, you know, of course, says that's important, but just as important, if not more important, is the consumption of healthy fats. And I think that makes a big difference because we, or at least in our case, right? And if we do say that there may be some causation to this, then we must look at the fact that we had consumed probably about the same amount of protein, maybe different types of protein, right? But plant-based proteins primarily versus animal-based, and that kind of swapped. But what we weren't consuming was nearly the quantity of fat.
We hardly ate butter. If we ate butter, it was because I made sourdough waffles and we put butter on the sourdough waffles. Like, I feel like we did not eat a ton of butter at all. And that's something that's significantly different.
Or fat in general. I mean, like probably what we ate with the most fat in it would be like avocados, you know, ever so often.
Yeah.
I mean, so you're not getting, you know, the real fat that you eat. And so like when we started eating steaks, ribeyes with a bunch of fat in them.
Yeah.
You know, it's kind of
butter goes on everything.
Yeah.
Bulletproof coffees that have MCT oil and butter in them. Super good stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. And for me, it like eating those ribeyes at first was like, man, like it's really good, you know, but there's a lot of fat in it. And I was the type that would like, when I would eat steak, you know, I prefer tenderloins because tenderloins have essentially no fat on it. If you get a trim tenderloin, I mean, you shouldn't have any fat on it, right? And so you're just getting a good, nice, soft piece of meat, and it's fantastic, tastes great. But the ribeyes have a lot of fat in them, you know, and they're expensive too. So it's like, man, like a lot of this steak is freaking fat. So I kind of had to force myself through chewing that fat at first, but
and also the quality of meat, so that made a big difference in how we ate as well. So like at first we were ordering from Butcher Box. Is very easy, it's very convenient, it comes to your door. One of the things I love about Butcher Box is their sausage. You can get actually, and I know we've said this on the podcast, like clean sausage with no sugar, nothing, like nice, yummy, clean sausage you can get from Butcher Box. But the quality of their steaks, I feel like, were so much different than just like going to your local meat market and getting like a good steak from there. Butcher Box was great, but it was much harder to consume the fat in those steaks.
Yes.
Much more chewy. Whereas when we started buying from our local meat market and things like that, the fat was so much easier to eat. Like actually like cooked down and was not chewy. It almost melted. Like it was very good. So that made a huge difference too in us sourcing better quality of meat from around us.
Yeah, it did make a big difference. And I don't know if it was the localized aspect of it or whether it was just that the animals raised the way they did it were entirely different, but it was a big improvement when we started shopping at like local meat markets.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, the local meat markets we shopped at both went out of business. So
isn't that concerning?
And
I even saw them like selling their food truck and everything. One of the places. Yeah. They're like done. And I'm like, it's kind of concerning.
It is. And, you know, I think it's a paradox too, because for us, like we live in Texas, and we live in an area of Texas that is like one of the highest producing cattle areas, counties in the state. So
Country.
everybody has fucking cows around
Yeah.
here. And I think that that may be somewhat of the demise of the meat markets, because people they got their own cows.
Right.
You know, so like they really don't need to go to meat markets. Like forget that, you know, more expensive
Yeah.
versus you can just raise your own cattle and have them butchered, and there
Yeah.
you go.
And we've realized, like, you know, we don't necessarily do that, which would be the optimal option. But HEB sometimes has really great steaks if you can. Our HEB unfortunately does not have like a butcher section, but we go to bigger HEBs around us, and we're able to get some good quality steaks. Like yesterday, we had a big ribeye steak that was, I don't even know, probably like it was like 2 inches thick before I cooked it. It was thick, so. And then ate that with a bunch of butter, scrambled eggs last night, and then green beans with bacon baked, which was amazing. And I don't necessarily throw in veggies all the time with what we eat. Typically, it's just like here lately I've been doing, you know, one of the most simple meals that I found is just like ground beef and scrambled eggs all cooked together. So cook your ground beef first, drain the meat, the juice, and then add in all your eggs, and like makes the best, yummiest dinner with butter on top of it. So good.
Yeah, it is really good. You know, you were talking about HEB, like we all love HEB, and I think anybody who has lived in Texas and then gone outside of Texas, or has lived outside of Texas and moved to Texas, realize how awesome HEB is.
Yeah.
Their butcher section is fantastic.
Yeah.
But the meat that they have on the shelves is not the same meat that's in the butcher section. We were just talking about this yesterday. Like a few days ago, you had bought some prepackaged
Like chuck eye steaks. I don't even know what they
meat
were.
off the shelves, and I had bought ribeyes like that too. And it's like you cook them, and it's like they turn fucking gray. Like there's no
Morgue meat is what they look like.
Yeah.
It was really
So-
nasty.
Yeah, so if you're going to be picking up your meat from HEB, do your best to find one with a butcher section and get it from the butcher section. And you can save a lot of money. You know, I mean, everything's so much more expensive nowadays. But the meat market that I was shopping at, it was like
Oh my God.
$24 a pound for ribeye, and not the prime. Well, it was choice. Prime was like 27 or 34. I can't remember.
It was in the 30s, I think, at some
And
point.
but at HEB in their butcher section, now the ones that you got yesterday, I don't think were choice or prime, but they're just as good in my opinion. I mean, like, you know, you start getting into, there is a difference in meat. There's a difference, you know, no doubt. But I think the difference in the meat is more to do with just the animal and how it was raised, what it was fed in general, versus the concept of choice or prime. You know, like prime really just has much more fat in it. So
Yeah, I think I got those steaks yesterday. They were $13.99 per pound. So I got 3 huge steaks for like $40.
yeah, you got it
Which
for
was a
13,
great-
$14.
Oh my gosh, we would have gotten 1 steak for that amount of price at the meat market. So definitely works out good to look around for a good deal. We were in an area of Houston not too long ago and like scored some
Yeah.
steaks.
We saw the steaks there, like, oh my God, they were $12.99 a pound, I think,
Yeah.
for the ribeyes. And we're like, okay, like we're going to get these and drive
And
it.
they were huge too. They were like giant, thick,
Yeah.
nice steaks. So yeah, we drove
inch
home
and
with them.
3/4, maybe 2 inches. I mean, they were really thick.
If anyone is in the Houston area, you'll get a kick out of this. So long story short, we ended up that huge wreck that was on like what 290 in 1960
Yep.
the other day, where apparently pallets,
ago, yeah.
an 18-wheeler of pallets had flipped over, and pallets, it closed down all lanes on 290. Well, we end up taking a wrong turn, trying to get out of Houston to go back home. And we end up on, well, our GPS wants us to get on 290. And it was like one of those things, like, it doesn't look like traffic's moving. Do we get on or do we try to find a different route? There was so much traffic. It was insane. And it's so funny because earlier in the day I had showed you the article that popped up on my Facebook, and it was like, oh, huge wreck on 290, all lanes closed, westbound or whatever. And then we end up literally being, our GPS is trying to get us on 290 West. And I was like, oh my fucking gosh, I cannot believe that of all the places we could have ended up. And it was all because of a wrong turn trying to get out of the HOV lanes that sent us northbound, and you couldn't get off of it. It was a train wreck.
It was a disaster.
It was a disaster.
But thankfully, during that disaster, we were on the side, the access road, and it's backed up. So no traffic's moving. And a fire truck, was it a fire truck? Emergency vehicles come through, and they can't get through. And we see them behind us, and like I'm in like the, like even the access road had like 3 lanes on it, and we were in the far left lane on the access road. And like, so like I got over even further to the left, and
everyone's
people are trying
to
make room, and the fucking fire truck's, honking its horn trying to get through. And as soon as it passed us, like there was some space in front of it, and I was like, fuck that. I got right in behind it.
And it's so funny because I was like, look at this asshole that's like following these police officers. Like, he's like right on their ass following them. And you're like, no, I'm about to do the same. Yeah.
Yep.
And we did that. Thankfully, that got us out of that fucking, we were in such a congested spot because our GPS wanted us to get onto 290. And I guess everyone else is having that thought process, but 290 was not moving. And you can imagine no westbound traffic moving on 290 out of Houston. Like it was a disaster. And so we were like looking on the GPS for what road we could cut through. And we ended up taking a different route that landed us. I think it rerouted our trip like 40 extra minutes.
Oh, at least an hour.
And I had to pee.
Oh yeah.
Pregnant bladder, I had to pee. And I'm like, this is literally the most stressful thing ever.
And all we needed to do was get on I-10, I-10 West. That we had passed up. We came up from 45 on I-45 from like the Galveston area. And so like we could have we passed I-10 once we got downtown and went north of I-10 because the GPS rerouted us that way because I-10 was so backed up. It was like, hey, you can save time by going north of I-10, making some, roads over here, then going west, and then hopping back on I-10 a little bit further west of downtown.
Yeah.
But in the midst of doing that, oh my God, dude, I just like I want to fucking blow my head off, dude. Like,
it was one of those moments where like I'm in the passenger seat, just not even talking, and my hand, I think, was over my mouth because I could not believe like the situations that we were in out of like that. And it all started just because we wanted to drive downtown Houston to check out the law school.
Yeah.
So we were like, let's go look at where the law school is. We'll go through downtown, which we had no other reason to be downtown Houston, but we're like, let's go look at the law school and then we'll just get right out of there. Fuck no. It was a disaster getting out of downtown Houston. And when we finally got out of downtown Houston, I was like, okay, we're good now. We're like 30 minutes from our next stop. I need to pee. And then the fucking car started doing this. Sometimes it just on FSD takes the wrong turns for some reason. It was trying to put you in the bus lane.
Yeah.
Like it was like the most stressful 2 minutes. And then all of a sudden we were trying to go westbound.
Don't even know. Like I don't, and you talk about the bus lane. Like I wonder if the bus lane was the right move.
Yeah.
But I'll never know. Because I'm not going back to fucking try. Because the HOV, we got off of the HOV because I'm like, fuck this HOV.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, I'm getting off the HOV. And then when we got off the HOV, we ended up going like down into some kind of residential area. But before you get there, it was the bus, like the metro area.
Yes.
And there was kind of like a roundabout almost right there, but it wasn't a full roundabout. You could just like do like half of it.
And there was only one option. You could only go through the roundabout. Like
Yeah.
I think what we should have done was taken that very, very, very early first right to get back out to the roads. But then it tried to go in the bus only lane. And we're like, what is this car doing?
I think what we should have done is just go through Pearland to Sugarland and fucking back home. Like there was
Oh
no
my
like you said,
gosh.
we didn't have to go through downtown.
Yeah.
So
Which wasn't that bad of a drive. Like going up 45 to get downtown was great. And then you get downtown and it's like, oh my God, this is a disaster.
yeah. Yeah.
And then we just so happen to be in the one spot where there's the biggest accident.
Yeah. And when you say like traffic wasn't moving, like that's no joke. Like it was literally stopped. Not like, oh, it'll move like, you know, a few feet every few minutes and stop. No, it was just literally
And we're
stopped.
talking 6 lanes,
Yeah.
one way of traffic stopped.
Yeah.
And I
Because
remember it was the moment like we needed to get on and you were like, do I get on or not? And I was like, don't. This may be the wrong answer, but don't get on because they don't look like they're moving and we don't want to be stuck in that shit. So
So luckily we finally, after I got in behind the emergency vehicles and we were able to make it up maybe, I don't know, what was it, a mile up the road on the access lane. And then there was a stoplight and an underpass.
and more emergency vehicles.
Yeah, a cop came from up behind us, so I had to get up on the fucking curb under the under. I was like, oh my God, dude.
Yeah, it was.
But then we finally made it through. And what was that neighborhood that we went through that like?
Oh my gosh, I can almost picture the road name because I was like, this is the road. We just need to take this road over to whatever I-10 again or something. I don't even know.
Yeah, and after we got on I-10, I was just like, gone.
Yeah.
You know? But we didn't get on I-10 until like we were kind of out. I don't think we were like out near Katy yet, but we were a ways out there, you know, when we should have been on I-10. Fucking, if we would have just stayed in downtown, like go from 45 to I-10, yeah, we'd have been in some, you know, bumper to bumper traffic, but we'd have made it through in 20 minutes or so and then got on the clear part of I-10 and been able to head west. But
And our GPS just kept rerouting us like literally hours out of our, like, why would we do that?
and it
Like,
was not showing any of the congested areas.
no, it
It
saying
showed
290
everything
was
blue.
clear.
Yeah, it was like, oh, this is all good.
I'm
So you
like,
couldn't tell, and we're looking, we see fucking traffic stop for miles, and it's saying it's blue, no red, no yellow.
That was the first time we've ever had to like literally open GPS on my phone to find side roads and be like, yes, let's go down these side roads and get out of here.
Yeah,
I had to pee, and I think it was like an hour and a half finally before I was able to pee. It was so bad.
yeah, yeah. So you talk about the whole reason we went up there is because also making another big move. I want to be going to law school here soon. Not soon, next year.
Soon,
But
though.
yeah,
soon.
it's relatively soon for a 42-year-old dude. And
Hell
so we were
yeah.
checking out the University of Houston, one of the places that I'm looking at going. And,
One of the many places, yeah.
Yeah, so that's really exciting.
Mm-hmm.
And thinking of, if not Houston, where else we may go? Maybe Charleston, maybe
Florida.
South Florida, you know, even maybe the west coast of Florida because they have some law schools over there. But I'd much rather be down in South Florida.
Yeah. And I think the great thing is like, if you've listened or been a part of the PantyNectar world for a really long time, then you kind of know, like, we just love living life and finding where the best, maybe not the best place, that might not be the right wording for that, but just like where we feel the happiest. And I don't think you should settle for anything less than that. And Florida just made us so happy.
Yeah,
Like
Florida's awesome.
life was good in Florida. Now we may end up, you never know, in Chicago. Maybe we end up in, I don't know, anywhere else. But
Yeah.
we'll see where it goes.
You've never been to Chicago, but I'm a big fan of Chicago.
I know you
think
are. You keep
Chicago's
saying that.
fucking awesome, man.
I just
Like,
think about the snow.
and it does. Well, I've never been to Chicago in the winter, so I can't even speak to that. But I do know that it snows there. So, but just as a city, you know, it just has a vibe to it. Like it has a good vibe. You know, like it's just, I don't know. It's like there's a culture there. You know, that's one of the things with Houston that, like, you know, I'm honestly not the biggest fan of Houston. It's I don't know. There's worse places to be, I guess. And there are some really nice areas of Houston, no doubt about it. But I just think as a whole, like Houston's just kind of like there's no real culture there. You know what I mean? Like there's
Love
no
Houston.
like even like I'm not saying like the Texas culture is the best culture, but like I even feel like that's fucking lacking in Houston. It's just like people
Yeah.
Houston's just like a area where people go to make money.
Yeah.
You know, like, hey, like there's good jobs in Houston, you know, it's a fucking energy capital. So and good on people for, you know, doing that and you know, elevating their lives in that regard. But I just feel like it just lacks in that area of culture. And like Chicago has a fucking culture, dude. Like music scene, you know, the food is fantastic there.
We did, you know, we were there in Houston looking at some areas that we would possibly want to live. And we did find some nice areas that we were pretty like happy with. And then we also feel that way about Fort Lauderdale. Like I feel like Fort Lauderdale, you cannot go wrong living near the beach in Fort Lauderdale. I think there's nothing like waking up and being able. One thing that we did, you know, I was pregnant when we moved out there, and then shortly postpartum afterwards, and we lived right on the beach, right off of A1A in Fort Lauderdale. And there's nothing like walking down to the CVS in the mornings to get RX bars.
Oh yeah.
And I don't even know what else. Those mango fruit
The mango strips.
Yep. And being able to walk just, I mean, and we would run. I was pregnant and we would run miles a day, 3-4 miles a day up and down the sidewalks right there off of A1A on the beach. And I mean, we joke, I know we've said it on the podcast before, but like even the homeless are happy. Like the homeless are happy to wake up on the beach and they're not harassing you like in Austin, Texas. And they're not criminals and evil like in Austin, Texas. Like they're actually very happy. Like it's hard to explain to people that have never experienced that, but
they may be criminals, but they're not robbing us. So
yes, that's exactly right. No, we had some very good run-ins with them.
Even we went to Florida last December, and we hadn't been there in what 4 years or so, and it's like I still saw some of the same homeless dudes down there just vibing out, you know. And it's like it's just
and we parked. You know, there's a street right behind the Ritz where you can pay for street parking and then just walk right across to go to the beach. And like I remember walking across the street and just like, just being like, this is so like, there's just something different about that than being in fucking Texas around cows and dirt. Like it is so amazing.
Yeah, or even the beaches, of course. I mean, it's hard to compare, you know, beaches to South Florida beaches, right? Because they're kind of in a league of their own. But you know, the
nude beach, miss the nude beach.
Oh my God.
In Austin, I think we've never been to the Austin spot that's apparently like a nude beach, but
Hippie
it's
Hollow.
Nude rocks is what it is.
Rocks.
It's just rocks.
It's like rocks.
Yeah.
So Lake Travis or whatever lake it is. It is like,
gosh.
All right, cool. Do your thing, man. But like, I don't know, like fucking rocks. I'm not trying to hang out on some granite or whatever.
I agree. Yeah.
Let me throw out my towel on some granite and fucking lay back.
Yeah. I want to be on some smooth sand and some clear water and, soaking up good sunshine.
Yeah, and Haulover Beach, like the beach itself, not just the fact that it's a nude beach, but like the beach itself.
The best beach.
Amazing. Like it is so wide right there. And it's just so beautiful. And every morning they go out and they have the tractors that go and like, not till the sand, but they just like level it off.
Yeah.
And it just like everything, grade it, I guess, maybe. And it's just like, it's just perfect.
And Fort Lauderdale has a great beach as well. Loved and spent many days at the Fort Lauderdale beach, but it's just so different out there.
Yeah. Yeah, it is different.
So
and
different.
At Fort Lauderdale, the beach isn't as wide, you know, or at least like in the main part of Fort Lauderdale. If you go down towards like the south part, you know, towards the inlet where the ships come through and stuff, it gets wider down there. Like the apartments and hotels are set a little bit further off, I guess. But and A1A doesn't go down that way. So because A1A kind of blocks the beach in a way.
Do you remember the first time we went to Haulover and you still had your car, so you had DV plates? So we were trying to find the parking lot and like didn't realize that there's tunnels and you can park over on that other side. And then we just happened to be over on this side and found that parking that's right there on the beach. I just remember all of that.
Next to the lighthouse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So fun. We're like looking on Reddit. We're like, where do you go?
I had no clue.
Because we went to the wrong beach the very first time. We went like over the little bridge into
Further
Miami.
south.
Yeah.
Ball Harbor right there. There's the inlet. I think it's Haulover Inlet's what it called, or maybe, but we went.
So we like get out, get our bags. I'm like big and pregnant, and we're like ready to strip down, and we get out there, and I'm like, oh, I don't think this
No
is
naked people right here.
Yeah, I don't think this is where we're supposed to be. So,
but it was early in the morning too, so like we were like, well, is this just not the time, or are we in the wrong place?
So then we hop on Reddit, figure out where people, what's the dealio, who's got the information. They're like, no, the pink lifeguard stands, not the yellow ones.
The lighthouse. If you see the lighthouse, you're almost in the right place.
Yeah.
But that's a good start. Go look for the pink shacks.
And it's amazing. You like get to Haulover and you walk through like a forest of, I don't even know what those plants are called, but they're so beautiful. So you walk through the little tunnel of plants and then you're on the nude beach.
Yeah.
And it's just like, I don't know, it's a great feeling. It's a great energy, great everything. So amazing.
I was shocked spending time out there, like especially the first time. Like I was just like it was not. It was way better than I was expecting, but it was not what I was expecting.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's kind of
well, and we always sit on the old people side too, which is totally fine with me. Yeah. I love being on that side. Yeah. So it was, you know, we were with all the older people, and it was just such a vibe. So cool.
Yeah. I miss it. We need to go back.
I know. I was just thinking about that yesterday when we were looking at places and stuff. I'm like, oh, it'd be so nice to go back to the nude beach.
I wonder if California has any good nude beaches. You think they would?
I bet they do.
But I'm not sure I want to put up with the California government. It's kind of oppressive in ways. No doubt. So it sucks because California is such a fucking awesome place too. Like the natural beauty and the weather in California. Mm-hmm. There's even a lot of good people out in California. But
that's how I felt about us living in Austin. I loved Austin. Being able to be right there in the city. I very much love my space, but I love being like right in the middle of everything. I think there's something so exciting about you being just like one in a million in those places. And loved living in Austin, but it got to the point where we just didn't leave our apartment because the crime, like we could see it from our apartment, and it was just terrible. It was awful.
When you watch them pull multiple dead bodies out of fucking Lady Bird Lake, not just one, like there was multiple dead bodies that we saw get pulled out of the lake. Not just us living there and it happened, like, no, seeing the police boats and fucking the photographers get in, and then they go up to the shoreline and they're like photographing what's going on. And you see them. Like,
I remember one morning we woke up and there was like caution tape, like police caution tape all around. Like, what was that park called? Right. The Long Center. So that little park that's right in front of the Long Center. My thing's all moving again. Oh, yeah, there we go. So right in front of the Long Center, there's like caution tape and all kinds of stuff. And we hop on, I don't even know, probably Twitter or something, X, and realize that there's like some fucking dude that just was mentally ill, bumped into another guy on accident. This guy and his mom are walking by, and something happens. Some very tiny altercation happens, and the guy turns around and starts chopping him up with a machete, and then runs from the cops, throws the machete. And we were like, we live here with kids. Like we can't, which is a tragedy because it's such an awesome place to just like walk around and to see the art on all the buildings, and to go out and just walk somewhere to eat or go to the really cool park across the street. And the crime was insane. Yeah. Insane.
Austin's a great city, but it definitely has some crime issues, at least where we were at, right? I mean, maybe that's not the case in other parts of it, but downtown and 3 years ago or however long that was, that it was not a place to be and feel safe.
Yeah. And it's funny, we didn't watch Kill Tony back then either. I bet it like would have been so cool to try to catch a Kill Tony show down there. Yeah. We had no clue. We did not watch Kill Tony at the time, so like had no clue that was even there.
Yeah. We didn't catch any shows.
No, we didn't. We didn't do anything because the crime was so bad. Yeah. My gym was like 2 miles down the road from our apartment, so just wake up in the morning, go to the gym, come back home. Maybe you went to the grocery stores. Even then, that was sketchy. Yeah. That HEB over there off of, what is it, like Lakeview or something like that? It's on the west side of Mopac.
and it's the HEB. It's like Cesar Chavez. If you take, if you're like downtown and you get on Cesar Chavez and you head west towards Mopac, you pass over Mopac or under, however, whatever, you get west of Mopac.
Past the I Heart Tequila
And
sign.
then Deep Eddy right there.
Yeah.
And then that HEB that's right on the corner, and it's like you park underneath it.
Yeah.
And you have to take the elevator escalators up it. And
yeah. Yeah, I love a city vibe. I love a city vibe compared to a country vibe.
Yeah.
It has its benefits. They both have their benefits and
sure.
they both have their cons for sure. There's pros and cons to both, but definitely just miss like life a whole lot. Like in Fort Lauderdale.
Yeah. You have your space out here.
Yeah. Which is nice. It's so nice to have space and to not be worried about like who's walking down the street or what's happening, things like that.
Oh yeah. In fact, that one time, a couple months ago, you texted me that you're like, there's someone walking down the street.
Someone that did not belong walking down the street. One of those things where I'm like, you'd see this in Austin. You wouldn't see this here. This is weird.
So I just, I was like, well, I wonder, because you saw him further down the road and he could have gone a different way. So I was like, I want this dude to know that, I don't know, this is not the place to, this is not the property to come onto if you want to do some nefarious activities. So I fucking grabbed my shotgun and walked out to the...
in your robe, probably,
in my robe. I was literally wearing my robe because it was early in the morning. And I just slung the shotgun over my shoulder, and I just went and stood out on my my front porch and just stood there. And next thing I know, I see the dude pop up over the hill right there, and he's walking and he's talking to himself, like pretty incessantly. And he's like going off talking to himself, and he has a backpack on, and he passes up our driveway, and he's like looking down, and he looks over, and he looks up at me, and he says, I don't even say anything to him, he's just like, and he's just like, whoa. And just like starts talking to himself. He looks at me, he fucking keeps walking and never saw him again.
So when things don't belong here. You can tell for sure.
Yeah. And people know that, like, I strongly believe that, like, you drive in this part of the country, like, you get the impression quickly, like, these are not the places that you want to go fucking stumbling up onto trying to rob somebody. Like, this is just not it. Because everybody out here has fucking guns.
Yeah, and there's not much cop involvement. Like, that's not...
Yeah, there are no police out here, right? So it's kind of every man for themselves. You can't count on the sheriff department. I mean, nothing against the sheriff department. They're just too far away and spread out, so it's up to you.
We did get to meet a sheriff the other day.
Oh my God. Yeah. I forgot about that.
Which was nice. He was the coolest guy ever. You could tell he was not from here either. He had a vibe about him that you just knew that he wasn't from this area either. And he was really cool. But it's a very busy weekend for us. We have family down for the weekend. Things are, we've got events going on. And I wake up one morning and get a call from, I say our neighbor, but it's someone like down the road. We have very few neighbors here.
About a mile away.
Yeah. And so he's like, hey, do you happen to have cattle that has yellow ear tags? And I was thinking, yeah, I think some of ours do. We only have a handful of cows here. And so I'm like, yeah, I think so. He goes, well, there's a donkey with them. And in that moment, I was like, fuck, that's definitely ours. God damn it. Because our donkey is just nefarious for getting out. She's only done it, twice now, but I know she's the ringleader of that. And when she sees an opportunity, she takes it. She's very stubborn, and we've had to go get her down the street before from our neighbors. But she has now corralled the whole group of cows down the road, about a mile down the road, mile and a half down the road. And so we had to go get them, and, you're driving the vehicle, trying to get the truck to push them back up the road. I'm out trying to make sure they don't take a wrong turn. I'm in like flip-flops. It's just a mess. And next thing we know, we turn around and there's a sheriff behind us. We're like, fuck, dude.
And you don't see sheriffs out here anyway, right?
No.
Every few months.
But he was very nice. He was very kind. He helped us.
He came up beside just off of our back left to help us push the cows down the road.
Yeah. He said, I ain't never seen this before. I had to call into dispatch. It was just a mess. It was a mess.
Yeah, I was thinking, as soon as I saw him, I was like, I wonder how many tickets this is. I was just thinking like he's gonna once we get him in our gate. I was just thinking, man, this has to be like 3 or 4 or 5 fucking. I have no clue.
Well, and the thing was, they were obviously at the fence line they were at had a very big bull at
yeah.
it. And our girls are not, we have all girls, and they're not around bulls. So they were very happy, and he was very happy. And they were literally trying to like get through the fence. So we finally get them down the road further. We think, okay, it's a clear shot, you know, just straight down to get to our road, to get to our gate. Well, they fucking take the last right turn they possibly can into this property that there's no one there anymore, but it's the last fence line where this bull is. And because there is no one there, they have not mowed in forever. I'm in flip-flops. The grass is about a foot tall with sticker burrs everywhere. Yeah. It was a disaster. And then the sheriff comes and like pulls into the driveway to kind of block it. And I'm like, no, we need them to go back out. And so
the other way.
Yeah. So he was like, do you like, are they here or you need them? We're like, no, we need them to keep going. So he pulled out and kind of helped us as well. And and of course the donkey knew where to go because she knew she wasn't supposed to be out.
Yeah.
Train wreck.
Yeah. Yeah, so he did. Luckily, he pulled up and just started talking. And he didn't even talk about. He's just like He's like, "Oh, how long y'all lived here?"
Yeah.
Like, so he was really nice.
He's a cool guy.
Didn't write us any tickets. He was a retired. He said that he had retired from the Houston Police Department after 30 years.
Yeah.
And then moved out this direction and had been working for the sheriff's department for the past 7 years or something like that. But
said he had a young wife, so he had to get back on insurance and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. But he was really nice.
Yeah, he was very cool. Very cool. Surfer vibes, like long blonde hair, just straight surfer vibes.
Yeah,
very
super
cool
chill.
guy.
I would have never taken that dude for a law enforcement officer had I seen him in public and not known.
Yeah, super cool. So those are just the many adventures that we've been on lately. And if you follow us on any other platforms, then maybe you catch some snippets of those because sometimes I'm on X, I'm just ranting about things. But it's been great. We've been going through so many fun adventures, and you know, we are a little over halfway with this pregnancy currently. So still on this adventure. And who knows where we'll end up very soon.
How far along are you?
I am almost 22 weeks pregnant.
Over halfway there.
Over halfway. That's
crazy. You want to show off the belly?
It's wild. Yeah. It's so.
I'll move the chair for you.
Thank you.
So you can't tell that way. Okay, so there she turns to the side.
Yeah. I still have decent. Yeah.
There you go. It's crazy.
It is crazy. But the great thing about it is my boobs that start coming in.
Yeah.
I know people, last time I was pregnant, you know, my boobs got huge. And so this pregnancy, boobs are coming back. It's the only time I ever have boobs. So everyone on my Not Safe for Work pages love it. They're so happy about it.
Yeah. They'll be there for another few months at least.
That's right. And afterwards, remember when my boobs were, I remember waking up some mornings and like, I'm like, I got to pump. My boobs are so full, they hurt. They end up like actually hurting. It's crazy.
You still only weigh, what'd you weigh yesterday or the day before you weighed yourself?
Like 126 is what I weigh.
Yeah.
Which is such a mind fuck because it's not far off from where I was pre-pregnancy.
What were you pre-pregnancy?
I would say like right around probably 110 to 114. So it's not a whole lot of weight, but none of my fucking clothes fit.
Yeah.
Like I bought this outfit. Some of you saw me actually do a race in this outfit a few months, more than a few months, half a year maybe. I did a run, went to do a run here in Texas in this outfit, and it was great and tight and fitting. And now I'm like, I put it on this morning. I'm like, look at this, dude.
Now it's just big or
yeah,
tight, I guess.
Stretched the bottom. It doesn't really, But it's like the spandex and stuff is the only things I can wear comfortably. Like shorts, regular shorts don't feel good anymore.
And you're kind of like in between like the regular clothes stage and maternity clothes stage. I guess you're getting closer to the maternity clothes, but like.
Man,
Those
and
don't
I went
even-
to look one of my favorite fitness lines. This outfit actually is Vitality, one of my favorite lines of clothing to buy from. And I know they made a few maternity things, so I actually went on their website yesterday and they had like hardly nothing. I'm like,
Really?
there's like Old Navy was the only like clutch thing I found last, and I still have my weekending shirt.
Never forget.
But do you remember that was the first time I bought like actual maternity?
We were in Florida, yeah.
Yeah.
We were like, where do we even go to get? There was an Old Navy there, so you just
Yeah,
walked in.
and I got some great stuff, like some good shorts, everything.
But were they maternity clothes? Because that weekend shirt's not. The weekend shirts,
No,
there's
it's
just
not.
a bigger shirt.
I believe I bought like specific maternity workout stuff from Old Navy. Good times,
That's funny.
isn't it? Yeah.
Where are they at?
I probably got rid of them because after the pregnancy, I dropped weight back. I was, believe it or not, 160. I think I was actually like 162 right at the end of my last pregnancy. I was
That's crazy to
giant,
think
and they
about.
kept telling me, "You're so small. You're so small." I'm like, I've literally never weighed over 130 in my whole life.
Man, and if you get up to 162, you still have 35 pounds to go.
I know.
For this.
That's what I know.
35 pounds in what, 3-4 months?
Yes. Yeah.
4 months or so.
Yeah. So so I just dropped weight like crazy.
It's like 5 pounds a week.
Postpartum. It was pretty insane. Like dropped weight back like crazy. And I remember getting to like the 130 stage and being like, oh, this looks good. Like I
Yeah,
still have
you
my
were all
boobs.
happy about it.
Yeah. I got a little bit of meat on my bones. Like it feels good. Because that's definitely something I struggle with is keeping meat on me. I have to be eating a ton and have to be working out to keep muscle and meat on me. So pregnancy is really fun in that sense, like gaining weight. It's almost like a bulking. You have a 9-month bulking session that you go through. But yeah, so we'll see what happens this go around.
Long ways to go, but you've already gone through a lot. So
Yeah. Yep. And we will keep you guys updated on the whole way. And we'll be able to share some more fun adventures.
Yep.
Hopefully here soon, a lot more fun adventures.
Oh yeah. It's going to get real fun.
It is. Yeah. Well, we appreciate you guys listening to this episode of the PantyNectar podcast. If you could, please go rate us 5 stars on whatever you listen to. And if you do not follow us already, both of us have separate accounts on X. You guys can go follow both of us. Reddit, Discord. Come join us. Come join conversation. Come join the community. And we look forward to hearing from you guys.
See ya.